So hello, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight to the official launch of Cool LA. I'm Andy Schrader, Director of Environmental Affairs for Los Angeles City Council member Paul Koretz, and I'm the campaign director for Cool LA. I want to give a quick overview of the agenda and then a little bit about how we got here tonight. First on the agenda, I'll introduce you to two of the LA City Council's strongest environmental and climate champions for a welcome. Then we'll have an introduction of our Cool LA team, including LA's Climate Emergency Mobilization Director and the Executive Director of UCLA's Sustainable LA Grand Challenge. And we'll hear what a climate moonshot even is. And if you have moonshot ideas or ideas you'd like implemented in your neighborhoods, get them ready to put in the chat and we'll collect them tonight. And this is definitely not your last chance to submit ideas. Tonight is just the beginning. So we'll also hear from David Gershon, the gent who created the Cool City Challenge, as well as from the campaign directors from the other two California cities who are doing this with us, Irvine and Petaluma. We'll hear about a project that is sprung out of the LA Trade Tech, which is already enabling neighborhood level transformation. Our hardworking program manager, Lisa Hart, will run us through the next steps with the Cool Block training, which is coming up really soon in the next couple of weeks. In time permitting, we'll have a visualization exercise for us all to dream up our LA of the future. So all of that in an hour. So let's go. So Cool LA is made up of two initiatives. One is called Cool Blocks, a neighborhood by neighborhood effort intended to empower our communities, reduce our energy and water use, and thereby reduce our greenhouse gas emissions citywide, and better prepare us for any emergencies that may arise. Cool LA is also a moonshot effort intended to tap into the incredible creative powers of Angelenos to find innovative and forward-thinking ways to drastically reduce our greenhouse gas emissions as soon as possible across the city. For some background, my boss, Councilmember Koretz, and I have been concerned for well over a decade that the climate impacts have been getting worse faster than the global effort has been growing to address them. In 2012, I actually quit a 2-decade-long career in the entertainment industry and left behind my master's degree in screenwriting from UCLA, but I should add not the loans, to come work with him on climate mitigation. And we've been looking for innovative solutions ever since then. So just such a solution, the Cool Blocks program, was brought to us several years ago by Laura Mack and Lisa Hart from the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance, who discovered it online and introduced us to David Gershon and the Empowerment Institute, who invented the program. We piloted Cool Blocks very successfully across more than 20 LA neighborhoods back in 2016 through 2018, took note of the improvements that needed to be made, and agreed to keep working together toward expanding it. So in the meantime, we launched the world's first climate emergency mobilization office, which is now up and running, in order to make sure that the city's climate actions were fair and equitable to the frontline and environmental justice communities who already bear the brunt of climate pollution and extreme heat events. You'll hear from the director of that office in a little bit, but just know that Cool LA is what we consider to be our path to a citywide mobilization on climate. And that brings us to this past summer. As promised, David Gershon brought back Cool Blocks as the Cool City Challenge and challenged 40 cities across California to compete for the opportunity of $1 million grant and administrative support to take Cool Blocks to larger scale. We brought together a powerful team in LA from business, civic, and private sectors, and together we went through a rigorous application process. Our application was 100 pages. And recruited 200 Cool Block leaders and more than 25 partner organizations to collaborate with us in this journey. I'm happy to say that we prevailed, and along with the cities of Irvine and Petaluma and their own amazing teams, tonight we're setting out on this remarkable journey together. So without further ado, I want to introduce an LA City Council member who has, as chair of the City Council's Energy, Climate Change, Environmental Justice, and River Committee, accomplished so very much in just a year. Councilmember O'Farrell and his staff are truly leading the nation in climate action by advancing initiatives on clean energy, clean transportation, waste reduction, and citywide composting, but also on the more thematically important issue of climate justice. I'm pleased every day to be working on these issues with his excellent staff members. Joining us from the 13th Council District, Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell.
Andy, thank you so much. As you're speaking and introducing me, I'm just remembering meeting you 9 years ago. I have to just congratulate you and thank you publicly for the talents and the knowledge and the passion that you bring to bear in this effort. Anything having to do with climate change and the environmental justice and environmental degradation and our opportunity to reverse course. You really are the spirit guide for the city council, and I mean that sincerely. So thank you. And thank you, Lisa, also. Thank you to the entire Sustainability Alliance and all of your volunteerism. It's what makes the city function. It's the volunteerism and expertise that you all bring to the conversation. Thanks for giving me a few minutes here. Thank all of you for your service and our collective future, because this is the group that is going to help define which way we go and how we go about it. The city of Los Angeles is already leading the nation in our collective efforts to transform our energy portfolio by far and ensure green city properties and buildings while paving the way for the private sector to participate. And that is going to be key. The LA 100 Strategic Long-Term Resource Plan was adopted last summer, and with the leadership and partnership of Budget Chair Paul Krikorian, effectuating the LA 100 plan of 100% clean, carbon-free energy. This plan is the blueprint for a carbon-free Los Angeles future, setting the stage for other cities to follow. We always have an outsized responsibility in LA to set the stage for advancements, and this is one of them. However, adopting grand plans is not enough. Like you all, I'm motivated to ensure that all seats at the table are filled as the drastic impacts of climate change continue to be felt throughout the nation. You all witnessed virtually, and hopefully not literally, the conflagration in Boulder just a few weeks ago, where 1,100 homes went up in flames. And it was an explosion of fire that caught people completely by surprise. 10 square miles. Another example of the devastation of climate change. Here in LA, we are doing our part. We've got to do much more, and we will. But this is the nation's second largest city within the most populated state. So there are implications for what we do across not just the country, but California. We're forging ahead. We're doing it with each and every one of you. The Cool City Challenge Moonshot effort will seek to mobilize neighborhoods, provide another vehicle of several vehicles that the city is employing, and the decarbonization of the city as a whole. For my part, now, as Andy said, it's been a year since I've been chair of the Energy, Climate Change, Environmental Justice, and River Committee. The work has just begun, but here are a few of our policies that we're advancing. I've been working with the Navajo Nation for over 2 years to create a partnership which will deliver the most solar energy to any city in the United States, generated from tribal land. This effort will seek to provide for jobs lost due to the city and other investment abandonment of the Navajo coal generating station, a contract we signed into about 50 years ago now. It has the potential to be a path for future energy solarization. And in that spirit, we recently partnered with the Navajo Nation also to effectuate a mutual aid practice, wherein our linemen and women train out in Navajo land, working with the Navajo Transmission Utility Agency, placing new power lines and infrastructure to families on the Navajo Nation who have never had electricity. We recently contributed to the installation of infrastructure of over 20 families, folks without power, water, or mobile cell service even. And we're going to do more. This is an official partnership with the city. We've also partnered with Budget Chair Krikorian and Mayor Garcetti on paving the way for the decarbonization of the transportation and building energy sectors, so that clean photovoltaic installations lead the way to our clean energy future.
You're muted, Mitch.
Not sure, maybe it's had enough of me here, but these programs are developing for the photovoltaic installations, working closely with DWP, LA Metro, LAUSD, Community College District, CSUs. It takes partnership. I'll continue to work with the private sector leaders and top LA industries to ensure that our policies are realistic and reachable for all Angelenos. And I'm working directly with the LADWP and the city personnel department to ensure that a just hiring plan be developed to create the green workforce needed to effectuate the LA 100 objectives, which includes the creation of over 9,500 jobs. And why can't those jobs come from the urban core of the city of LA and the neighborhoods not in the urban core that have been historically overlooked, and bring them in to secure good wage jobs as we transition into complete renewable energy in the future. So I want to thank you for letting me speak this evening. I want to thank my legislative director, Star Parsemian, my senior advisor, David Heron, and everyone on the city's behalf. I want to thank Marta Segura for leading the department that is charged to work with you and her team. We're all in this together. It's going to be a really great ride, hard decisions, arguments, but let's work through this and get to that clean energy future that not just our future generations deserve, but life on the planet deserve it right now. And so I'm very passionate about this, and we're going to make this happen. And now if Mr. Krikorian is here, he is, and I get the great honor of introducing my good friend, Paul Krikorian, who is an architect of so many wonderful things on the environment, always has been, and is going to be leaving a lasting legacy, and represents the second district honorably, well over a decade, probably 2 decades now in public service, Paul, and elected to the city council back in 2010. Shortly after he was appointed chair of the Budget and Finance Committee, and he has helped keep the city solvent, which enables us to do really good things. So thank you, Mr. Krikorian, and I'm proud to work closely with you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend, Councilmember Paul Krikorian.
Well, thank you so much, Mitch, for that very, very generous introduction, and for all of your inspiring comments about what we've done and what we still plan to do, and for your leadership, of course, on the committee. You've been visionary, and you've brought us together. You've built consensus around things that a lot of people thought couldn't be done. And I just am so grateful to you for your leadership on environmental issues, and also, as you mentioned, your leadership in uplifting Native Americans as well. And I was so proud to travel with you to the Navajo Nation and see the potential benefits of Light Up Navajo and the other initiatives that you're helping to spearhead here in Los Angeles. It's really inspiring. I want to, of course, thank the one and only Andy Schrader for convening us, and thank you for your leadership throughout all these years, Andy. And of course, Lisa as well, Lisa Hart and the entire Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance. And Andy is here very capably representing Councilmember Paul Koretz, but even in his absence, I want to recognize that Councilmember Koretz has been perhaps the most persistent, most assertive, clearest voice on the urgency of addressing climate change in all of City Hall in the time that I've been there. And so we all, and our children, all owe a great debt of gratitude to Councilmember Koretz for his leadership. I'm going to try to be quick because I know you've got a lot of ground to cover tonight, and Mitch has already kicked us off so well. But I mainly want to just thank all of you and congratulate you for coming together and for your leadership. If ever there was an example of thinking globally and acting locally, this is it. This is a tremendous opportunity for neighborhoods to come together, to innovate, for each of you to become ambassadors about climate change to those who still need to be brought along and inspired, for us to come up with local solutions that taken together contribute to addressing a global challenge. And so I can't overstate how much it means to have all of you here and all of you willing to make that commitment of leadership for our city and for our globe. It's really going to be a major, impactful initiative. And we're doing so much in Los Angeles right now that's really leading the nation and leading the world. Councilmember O'Farrell mentioned LA 100, which of course has been an initiative that I've been pushing forward for 6 years now to try to get an actual blueprint to 100% clean energy in Los Angeles. And at the time we started this, nobody thought that was possible. Nobody thought it was even remotely possible to get close to that. And yet we put together the best minds in the nation to actually plan a blueprint to make that real. And when the National Renewable Energy Lab came on board with the DWP, they conducted the modeling necessary to prove that not only can we get to 100% clean energy, but we can do it in a way that's going to be economically sustainable as well, and that's going to be a massive creator of good green jobs right here in Southern California. So we've proven it. We have the case study now, and I think the work that we did in that modeling is going to be a model for the rest of the country to follow as well. But it's not just LA 100. At the same time, we're also advancing the initiative that we started in the committee to eliminate all neighborhood oil drilling. As many of you know, many of you were on the front lines of fighting that fight to try to have increased setbacks of our oil and gas production here in Los Angeles from residential neighborhoods and other sensitive uses. And I felt that if we're going to increase setbacks, maybe we should just eliminate drilling altogether and make all oil and gas production in the city of Los Angeles a non-conforming use. And that motion has now passed through all of the committees, and it's ready to be voted on by the city council. I hope you'll all contact your council member to ensure that they're supporting this effort to eliminate oil and gas production throughout the city of Los Angeles. We've also taken a leadership role, a national leadership role in eliminating single-use items and especially single-use plastics, because we know that as most of us are moving towards more fuel efficiency, more use of electric vehicles in the transportation sector and so forth, the oil and gas industry is on its heels and it's reeling right now. And the way they're making up for those losses is by pushing more plastic on us, using their crude oil instead of for fuel to manufacture plastics, which are just going straight into our ocean, going straight into our landfills, fouling our neighborhoods. And we can't let them continue to get away with it. So we have to curb single-use plastics, and we're advancing that. Now, I also serve on the Metro board, the MetroLink board. Of course, we're moving to electrification of the entire bus network on Metro. We're electrifying all aspects of the city of Los Angeles's fleet, and MetroLink has Tier 4 locomotives, now the cleanest locomotives in the entire United States of America. So those are some of the big things that we're working on. And as Councilmember O'Farrell mentioned, we've also invested in this budget in tens of millions of dollars of solar generation and storage at municipal facilities. That was Mr. O'Farrell's initiative that we were able to push through in the budget. There's a lot of big things like that that are going on. But at the same time, it's really critical that all of you continue to lead at the neighborhood level because you give people hope. When we do these big initiatives, that's important. But I think people need to have a sense that they have control over their own future, that each of us individually can do something to bend the arc of history, to turn the globe back from the path that it's on, that each of us can act in our own neighborhoods to make a difference in our own households. And that's much of what Cool Blocks is going to be about. Being able to give people not only the opportunity to be helpful in the battle against climate change, but also help themselves, by lowering their utility bills and having more comfortable, safer homes, by having cleaner neighborhoods, but also to give them hope for the future at a time when so many are really losing that hope. And that's what your leadership is going to help deliver. So I couldn't be more grateful to each of you for making that commitment. And it's a great pleasure and an honor to be able to be here with you tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember, and thank you, Councilmember O'Farrell. I get to work with these guys every day, so it's a great pleasure and a great honor to work with them. So thank you for all that you do. So as I mentioned, we launched the world's very first climate emergency mobilization office. So that makes this next person the world's very first climate emergency mobilization director. She's also an integral part of the Cool LA Moonshot team, Marta Segura. And she's here somewhere.
Marta, you're on mute.
My apologies. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Ernie. Greetings, everybody. I'm thrilled to see each one of you. Also, thank you, Councilmember Mitchell Farrell, Councilmember Krikorian and Koretz, for all of you have spearheaded at the city, and for the support that you've given to the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office. Your leadership has been truly amazing to create community engagement and civic engagement that has not been seen before at the City of Los Angeles for climate policy and equitable climate policy. So here at the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office, we're proud to work with the Cool City Challenge, and we're co-creating the blueprint for people-driven governance and achieving equitable climate solutions for our great city. Our work is all about uniting the people's energy, creating synergy, and we're going to incorporate your collective ideas and efforts, since every step of this, like the wings of a butterfly, has infinite potential. We will save the earth with equity, inclusion, and compassion, and we have to do this together. We've all heard that we must think globally and act locally, like Councilmember Krikorian mentioned. This is definitely exemplified by the local examples worldwide that have exceeded or surpassed the Paris climate agreements. And despite the lack of progress of the Paris climate agreements, the local communities have taken action and across the globe have given us examples of how we must act locally to achieve carbon neutrality, save our health, and achieve well-being and economic equity for all. So our vision is to co-create with you this energy, justice, democracy, and it depends on all of us so we can reach the dream of how the communities for all. Thank you, everyone. And I'm really honored and super excited to be with all of you today.
Thank you, Marta.
Thank you.
So this next gentleman, we piloted Cool Blocks together, and we always talked about how do we scale this up so we can spread it across the state and around the country. He went off and figured it out, and we're so very grateful. It's my pleasure to introduce the founder and creator of the Cool City Challenge from the Empowerment Institute, David Gershon.
Andy, thank you. We were trying to decide today whether he was Frodo or Aragorn from the Lord of the Rings. We decided Aragorn. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. So you are a spiritual warrior. You are the spirit guide of the city's aspiration to do climate work at the levels that it's required. You are a person who comes out of screenwriting and telling visionary stories, and now you're telling a visionary story to the city of Los Angeles about what it's possible, what the city of angels can become when it gives itself fully. So I honor you and I honor this beautiful city. So today we are launching something that is part of an amazing thing that happened in the city of Los Angeles, a carbon neutral city resolution without offsets by 2030, the boldest in America, the boldest of any city in the world. of this size. So bravo. Some of you may know cities represent 70% of the planet's carbon emissions, and the residents of those cities represent 70% of those emissions. So if cities don't take on the mantle of climate leadership, who will? And LA has accepted the mantle and stepped up. And I deeply, deeply honor your commitment to our planet. And I honor the commitment of this community of people that have shown up for doing this Cool City Challenge, your city council. Bravo. So why is this bold climate goal necessary? Climate scientists tell us we must achieve by 2030 what humanity is trying to accomplish by 2050 to avoid irreversible ecological tipping points. We need a climate moonshot strategy. And that's what Cool LA has shown up to do. We awarded you $1 million plus our consulting support to get this off the ground over the next 5 years. It was a lot of work reading 100 pages, but I felt like I was reading a screenplay for the city of the future. So bravo, Moonshot team, for your visionary moonshot thinking. It started with you, Andy. 6 years ago, we've been on that journey ever since. You got wind of the Cool City Challenge. You went into high gear. You built an amazing moonshot team made up of public, private, and civic sector leaders. That team recruited 25 community partner organizations who recruited 200 Cool Block leaders. No small feat. And you passed this amazing resolution. So I want to honor each of you. I want to honor the city. And I want to invite now 2 colleagues who are on this journey with you from the city of Irvine and the city of Petaluma. So Sona, if you would share a few thoughts, or big thoughts about Cool LA. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, David. And thank you and hats off to the LA team. This is a phenomenal effort and a major undertaking. I think what's so inspirational about this is that people look to Los Angeles, they look to your leadership, and they look to see what LA is doing on these initiatives to be on the front lines of climate action. And moving forward with this goal is something that we've all been waiting happily and excitedly to see, and I'm so thrilled to see this launch. I've had a really excellent time working with Andy. I've known him for a few years now. We've worked together on sustainability issues. And for those that I haven't met before, I work for the city of Irvine. I'm the environmental administrator there, but I live in the city of Long Beach and I serve there on their Sustainable City Commission. Before that, I worked for the city of Manhattan Beach, also running their environmental program. So I've been involved in sustainability initiatives across Southern California for a number of years now. And through it all, we always are looking to Los Angeles to see what's happening next and what is the city going to be doing to lead. So this partnership now with the Cool City Challenge, I'm happy that our 3 cities get to work together to really create this transformational change for California and get our cities to carbon neutrality. So thank you for leading this effort, and congratulations to you and all the Cool Block leaders and your city council for supporting the movement. Thank you. Oh, David, you're on mute.
I think I'm getting muted without my knowing that. So thank you, Sona. So I now want to take a moment to invite the campaign director for the city of Petaluma, Natasha Juliana, one of our true inspirations. So Natasha, your thoughts about Cool LA.
Well, I am just so thrilled to be here. I feel like the little fish in the big pond. So it's very honored for little old Petaluma to have LA and Irvine as our partners in this extraordinary journey. It's been such a pleasure working with Andy. He's great. He and his family actually happened to be in Northern California at the end of last year, and we got to show him around and his family around the town and out on the river, and it was just wonderful, and getting to know Sona as well. So just they've been so welcoming to our little town. It's been very fun to work with you all, and I look forward to this collaborative effort in the years to come.
Thank you.
You know, one of my favorite things about this whole effort is the really fantastic people I get to work with from the other cities. You know, thank you, Sona. Thank you, Natasha, my new best friends. Thank you, David, for your incredible vision and leadership, not just for our 3 cities, but for this entire tiny, beautiful, fragile planet we call home. So So I want to shout out and introduce most of the amazing people who really helped get it done, who worked so hard with me to get our application across the finish line and recruited all our cool block leaders, our cool LA Moonshot team. First, my friend and colleague from Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell's office, David Harone. He's under the weather, but he's my council partner in this and essential to these and so many important efforts. I don't think he's on, but David, thank you if you're out there. Next, you already met Marta Segura, the city's first climate emergency mobilization director. You know, when we wrote the job description for that, we said we should get somebody like Marta Segura, and then finally we're like, we should just get Marta Segura. Next, the executive director of the UCLA Sustainable LA Grand Challenge, Cassie Rouser. UCLA's efforts certainly inspired these efforts. So thank you for laying the tracks ahead of us. The former sustainability executive at Disney, and now the founder and chief strategist for Common Value, Mark Spears. We're missing Jennifer Bravo from Accelerate Resilience LA, who wasn't able to be here tonight, but she's a huge part of this whole movement, and Accelerate Resilience LA is going to help us fund the frontline community needs for our cool block leaders. And last, the person I talked to more than I think I talked to my own kids, who first brought our cool LA, who first brought cool blocks to my attention 5 or 6 years ago, and who's our cool LA program manager from the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance, Lisa Hart. And I also want to acknowledge and thank, and I don't know if she's here tonight, but I want to acknowledge and thank Katie Bickle Goldman, who she's a greenhouse gas accounting policy and education expert who pitched in and wrote all the technical stuff in the application about the mayor's Green New Deal, which probably would have taken me another month to figure out. We would have got the application in on time and we wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you, Katie. So now over to Cassie. And actually the one thing Cassie would like you all to know before she speaks is that she is a bigger monarch butterfly fan than I am. And I don't think I'm giving anything away about her when I say she says that's because I don't in fact have a monarch butterfly tattoo.
Exactly. And it's a big one. It's the monarch migration. So thank you, Andy. As Andy mentioned, I'm Cassie. I'm the executive director at UCLA's Sustainable LA Grand Challenge. And I really couldn't be more excited to be a part of this community empowering and visionary program. When Andy approached me to be a part of the Moonshot team, it was really an easy yes. He had me at Moonshot. It was, it was, you know, back to the lines from the movies. Andy likes, knows best. But it was really moonshot thinking that inspired UCLA's Sustainable LA Grand Challenge back in 2013 to set ambitious and time-bound goals to make Los Angeles the most sustainable megacity by 2050 through renewable energy, local and resilient water, and enhanced ecosystem and human health. At the time we publicly announced those moonshot goals in 2013, they seemed pretty crazy and out of reach. But as you all know, the idea of 100% renewable energy, for example, is now something that numerous cities and countries have embraced. And even more ambitious timelines, including here in California and the city of LA. And that's the benefit of moonshot thinking, really. You know, it's visionary, it's ambitious, and it's without reservation. It's what we mean when we say we want you to think big and to imagine the Los Angeles of the future. That is your Los Angeles, our Los Angeles. So we want to take a couple of minutes here together to share your vision for LA. Let's use the chat to describe your perfect LA. Don't limit your thinking. Anything is possible. And these are the ideas that will shape our pathway and strategy for achieving carbon neutrality by 2030. So go ahead, we'll give you a minute or two to enter some ideas into the chat. You know, what do you want your neighborhood to look like? What do you want your block to look like? I love it. 40% tree canopy. That would be incredible. Oh, they're going so fast, I can't even read through them. Much higher walkability. More walking, absolutely.
Green
So
spaces full of
beautiful here.
trees. Quiet.
Quiet streets.
You go.
We're just reading the easy ones. Food grown nearby, love it. No single-use plastic, we're on our way. Zero waste. More no single-use plastic. Public transport, absolutely. Friendly, cleaner air and greener spaces. Ecosystem developments. Biodiversity, yes. Gray water for all, not to drink, but to use for other things. Bike lanes, regenerative agriculture, no idling, better yet, no carbon emission from those things. Walkability and bikeability, birds, butterflies, and bees. I like your thinking. No food is wasted. Composting is easy and feasible. Green roofs, composting, no leaf blowers. I like that. No gas leaf blowers. Stronger communities working together everywhere. No more lawns, reclaimed water. These are great. These are great. Reduce, reuse, repurpose, revive the LA River. Rake exchange for blowers. Human ecology informing the arts. I love it. Spreading positive vibes. Absolutely the most important thing. Urban food forest. No more traffic jams, please. Nature-based solutions to the LA River. Great, thank you, Diana. Environmental justice for all, absolutely. Top priority. Green canopy on all streets. Different classes living proximately rather than apart. Neighborhood gardens. Farm to school cafeteria. Healthy plant-based foods available to all. Trees on LAUSD schools, yes. Holistic thinking. That's right, we got to break out of our silos, absolutely. If you can dream it, we can do it. That's what we're telling you here, absolutely, dream big. Habitat restoration, wildlife corridors. I love it. So we're going to save this and we're going to create a word cloud with this that we can share with everyone at a later time.
All right.
This
Thank
is so
you, Cassie.
great. There's got to be over 100 ideas here. I love it.
Thank you, Cassie, and thank you, everyone. That's sort of our new version of the LA River right there. So keep them coming, and we'll keep collecting them. So next, I want to briefly introduce our design team chairs. Now, these are the folks who will head up working groups to figure out how do we implement the moonshot ideas from our application and find many other ways to help us get to a carbon neutral LA by 2030 without offsets, it should be added. If you in the audience know brilliant out of the box thinkers who may be perfect for this work, or if you happen to be one of those yourself and want to participate in this way, please let us know. It should be noted that these folks that I'm about to introduce are affiliated with and or lead the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance. They do such great work all the time, every day, without pay, volunteer work, extra hours. I appreciate their work so much. And they each helped us recruit cool block leaders, and they are so very involved in the city's efforts for clean energy and a sustainable, regenerative future. The chair of our policy team is Dan Cagle, who's also the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance Energy Committee chair. He's also on the DWP LA 100 Renewable Energy Working Group with me that has been almost endless about what Councilmember Krikorian said the last 6 years. The chair of our technology team is Dr. Lorraine Lindquist, faculty associate of the Cal State Northridge Institute for Sustainability. She also helped Lisa and I in so many cool block leader recruiting meetings this fall. So appreciative for her work. Chair of our community engagement team is Cindy Hubock, who's also the mayor's appointee to the city's Community Forest Advisory Committee. She's a board member officer of the LA Community Garden Council and Silver Lake Reservoirs Conservancy and so many other environmental organizations, including founding the Elysian Valley Community Garden. The chair of our synergy team, who will bring the work of all the other teams together, is Ernesto Hidalgo. He's the NCSA board chair and has been integrally involved in so many of the city's clean energy efforts, and is by day the project manager of the Carousel Mall redevelopment. And we're looking for a new finance team chair. So don't hold back if you have ideas who would be a good convener of the finance team who really understands finance and fundraising. So now I'm going to hand it off to Mark Spears, who you met a little earlier. And Mark will introduce a professor from one of our local trade schools who is already leading the way on transforming the city at the neighborhood level. And you'll get to hear about her effort. Mark.
Thank you, Andy. And continuing a theme from this evening, particularly in the comments from both council members, while the climate crisis is global, the greatest opportunity for meaningful change increasingly exists in our own backyard. And there's no one who better exemplifies creating the change that we seek to make in our own community than Marcela Oliva. Marcela is professor of architecture and environmental design at LA Trade Tech Community College. She's also founder of UCLA Extension Program courses on transforming community and design for social justice. In addition, she's a board member of the US Green Building Council, LA. She leads by example through extensive international experience and acclaim, while continuing to practice her craft locally, helping to transform our local communities and neighborhoods to truly serve their residents. Perhaps more importantly, she is also at the forefront of producing the community design and urban planning leaders of tomorrow who come from and continue to live in neighborhoods across the city. Tonight, she'll share a glimpse of how she's making the impossible possible through illustration of work underway to revitalize underutilized urban space for the benefit of our city. Marcela.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm just going to very quickly go ahead and share with you a project that we're working with Pico Union Park. As you know, we need to produce at least one park per week just to be under prime standards of green spaces. So what we did with the community, working very close, we identified all the possible activities, nature-wise and human-wise, and then we implemented a parametric driven design where the community could actually design their spaces themselves. So the architect becomes more of a grid assistant designer. Here you can see the alley and a pocket park where the students could actually design multiple options. I don't see, can you guys hear me?
Yes, keep going.
Yes, okay. I just wanted, so here you can see the parametric driven design. You can see how the red area, that could be a workout area, it could be a skateboard park. The community is like a video game where they can actually participate and decide what they want for their communities. Here's another quick example where you see a grid that is generated and it facilitates a quick design. On the left, you see a program, and on the right, you see that by one design, the community can say, no, I want vertical trellises, I want canopies, I want cooling centers. So then the community, that's why it's called community-driven design, where the community is the designer. I think that opens a new platform that we have never seen before. We have generated over 500 warehouses where the community can drag and drop. And this comes together with hands-on workshops that the community can do. Really quick, I'm very proud to tell you that this project just happened for the Clean California. It took only 8 weeks, including working with local artists that you can see on the fence. This was finished in 7 weeks. And this was all designed by the community for the community. So I think that these kinds of opportunities where the community belongs to it, not just as a cheerleader, but actually as a designer, they'll be able to maintain it, operate it, and really create the life cycle of a building. So we feel very excited, and we have the same solutions, not only for green spaces, but also for urban farming, for tiny houses, and so on. And I really applaud all your efforts, and I deeply appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcela. I believe, Lisa, you are next.
I just wanted to pop in really fast and just say, one of the things that the city departments find really exciting about this whole Cool LA initiative is because it helps our city departments identify places to put projects like the ones that Marcella was showing. So super important. And next up is, I didn't put in an introduction, but Lisa Hart has been working like 24/7 on this project. She puts in so many hours, so much blood and sweat. And I'm so appreciative of her hard work and her passion and her friendship. And it's really my honor to work with her every day.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Fortunately, Andy, it turns out, is really, really fun to work with. So that helps a lot. We are running super behind, and I really want us to have a more interactive experience. So I'm going to cut my remarks short. I just wanted to show you some of the partners that we have. These are not all of our partners, but these are a lot of them. And we could not have done this without these folks. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, neighborhood councils. We could not have done this without so many neighborhood councils who helped us who reached out on our behalf and who provided us the platform to reach out. So I have so much gratitude for that system. And I also, on that note, I want to hand it over to Janine Watkins, who's with the Watts Neighborhood Council. I think Storm Hopkins from the Watts Neighborhood Council is also here tonight. Watts really stepped up in this effort, and it's really because of those two people. So I'm going to hand it over to Janine to say a couple things about why she is involved in this and why she thinks it's important for folks to be involved.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to first thank everyone who worked this out and worked on this project, came together and made it possible for LA to be awarded this crucial funding. I am a proud member of the Watts community. The Watts Neighborhood Council is working alongside other organizations to help Watts deal with their toxicity. We have the largest population in the county of Los Angeles of children. We have ultra toxicity in our community, and we dare to stand before you working on an urban farm. We dare to create organizations, not only to help our community heal, but to do our part for the city. It's very crucial that members of the city understand that it takes every one of us to make this happen. It is dire for us to come across all socioeconomic lines, to come across from our neighborhoods and get to know each other in ways that if we have chaos or crisis, we are prepared to deal with that crisis. We've seen across the country, and that's the reason why I'm here today. It's an honor to be amongst you. I know it's not easy to take time out of your busy schedules, but a community like Watts is doing its part. And if Watts can do its part, then the rest of the city can dare to come together. This should not be a trendy movement. And you have to tell your people that it is something that needs to become a way of life. For us to become carbon neutral, we have to share our knowledge. We have to share the knowledge, from the technology to the emergency preparedness plans. If my community or communities like Pacoima and others are kept out of this knowledge and the sharing, every community is in danger. So I cannot urge you enough, as I sit before you humbled in doing my part, that it's important that we do not leave anyone out from that knowledge being shared, because it's going to take all of us to make this happen and to inspire other communities and other states to dare to do their parts. I think that we can do this before 2030. And I think that Los Angeles should lead the way in embracing all of Los Angeles. And that means including the children, and it means including multilingual communities. Because if we're able to share that in our elders, if we're able to come together and share the knowledge of being carbon neutral, then we can begin to look forward to what we're leaving our children and begin to live a way of life that becomes an everyday practice. And it's done in real time when you get up and you practice how you live, shutting your water down, teaching your children how to conserve. So I know that we're short on time. I commend all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules. And Watts is ready to go. We are ready to share this. We are excited to share this, and we've done our part, and we're looking forward to being a component of a whole, LA leading the way for the country to show that we have to make this happen now. We can no longer wait. So I thank you, and I thank Lisa and all of you for inviting me into this, and I'm looking forward to the hard work. I think it's possible.
Thank you, Janine. That was wonderful. All right, I want to say one or two more things. I want to share a screen to show our Cool Block leaders. This is where they are now. This is not all of them. This is, I think, about 120 of them. So it's pretty good. We're not totally evenly distributed. This shows us where we have work to do, but we've gotten a great start. And once again, thank you for that. And I will be putting in the chat in a moment a link to our sign up page in case you want to be a Cool Block leader and aren't yet. And I will also put in a link to our next Cool Block Cafe, where you can learn more about how to do this if you want. Okay, now I'm going to hand it over to Lorraine Lindquist. And I think Andy already mentioned she is a former Cool Block leader. So she's got a wealth of experience on this, and she's going to help us think about the future.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you to all of the amazing speakers and leaders on this effort. I'm so grateful for all the work that you have put in to this this exciting moonshot. So I would love to lead you all in a very short visioning exercise. You all just put into the chat a little while ago the vision that you had for carbon neutral LA in 2030 and all the different pathways that will help get us there. And I have to say, I want to live in your LA because your vision is incredibly inspiring and amazing. So thank you for sharing that vision. And so now at this moment, what I would like for you to do is to get a little bit deeper into that vision and look at how we're going to get there. And what I'd like you to invite you to do is stop for a moment, take a deep breath and go inside a bit, close your eyes if you'd like, and just imagine that LA that you all envision together. Just visualize it in your mind. Imagine it's the year 2030 and Cool LA has been a resounding success. What do your streets look like? How do you feel? And most importantly, what are the coalitions that we have built to get there? I'd like for you to put into the chat for us what you think your neighborhood will have contributed to this LA of the future that we all envisioned together. How are we going to build the coalitions that will actually get us there, that will actually achieve this moonshot that we're all so boldly envisioning? And I see some starting to come in, change building codes so I can build Earthship in California using recycled tires. Neighbors helping neighbors, more parklets in all areas, teaching, composting, new level of friendliness that creates commitment. School-centric relationship building. By working together and learning different cultures. Trees in every empty parkway. Community building and building awareness for climate change. Everyone has solar energy and they share that energy. Bringing Cool Blocks to Sydney, Australia. Oh, exciting. Yes, we need to bring it everywhere. Community of friends who help and support each other, celebrate success, and support facing challenges. Curriculum in all of our LAUSD schools that is environment focused. Electric cars, electric bikes, solar panels, and edible gardens. Public policy that incentivizes cradle-to-cradle manufacturing practices. Oldies talking about global warming as the good old days. I love that. Using rooftops more, tiny houses everywhere in LA, kids climate code, the lifestyle empowerment for kids, no one hungry, no cars on the street, lots of walking. Tongva leadership brings sacredness, eco-village demonstrations in every neighborhood, non-fragmented wildlife connectivity. Great, and I would just like to take one moment to invite, if we have just one or two people who would like to come off mute briefly. Lisa, if you want to lower everyone's hands, just raise your hand after she's lowered everyone's hands. And we can have just one or two people share what your experience was envisioning that Cool LA and how you plan to commit today to help bring it forward. So I have two people already who've raised their hands. We're just going to go with those two. Oh, I lost.
Sorry, I lowered them. Sorry, I was a little slow. I wasn't sure we were still doing this. Go ahead.
Okay, Emily, just
Tree.
very briefly, a couple sentences, please.
Trees, 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 trees.
Okay, thank you. And let's have a couple more. And let's get just a little bit more into the commitment. What are you personally committing to today? Steve.
More climate awareness. Watch neighborhood council. What?
Thank you. And Steve.
Well, I was answering the last question, and that's just to
Go
make
ahead.
sure that people are convinced that we have a problem.
Yeah, making sure, convincing people that we have a problem. And Eric.
I want to do compost clubs so that everybody gets in the hang of it.
Nice, compost clubs on every block. Fantastic. And Johnny.
I'm committed to starting give a rake to exchange for a blower. So anyone who wants can get a rake from me in exchange for use of your blower, and we'll finance the difference in cost to the owner for the gardener's extra time in creating beautiful sounds while gardening.
Nice, thank you. All right, well, that's a fantastic vision to end on. Thank you so much, everyone, for your commitments, and I hope you all can make some personal commitments today in your heart. And I'd like to give it back to Andy to close us out.
So thank you, Lorraine, and thank you, everybody, for all your ideas. All the cool block leaders are doing a lot already. If you want to be even more involved, please let us know how you want to bring your talent to the table. We've given you some ideas tonight. So I want to close with a thank you. On Monday after school, I took my kids, who are ages 5 and 7, to one of our favorite spots, a ravine where there lives what I assume to be about 1,000-year-old coast live oak. And we really love the tranquility there. The kids love playing there. Standing beside it, like you can feel its life force. And it just gives me hope that we'll be able to pull off this climate moonshot and protect those that came way before us for those who will come way after us. I'm always grateful that whoever protected that area as a nature preserve so that I can take my children there to experience this beautiful and ancient tree. So I want to say in closing tonight that I'm so grateful for all of you, because someday, maybe 100, maybe 500 years in the future, due to the work that we are starting together right now, today, some other moms, some other dads will be able to bring their kids to visit that then 1,500-year-old oak tree. So thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything you're going to do. It'll be some intensive, focused work, but it's totally going to be worth it. And the world needs us. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Hey, thank you.
so
You guys
much.
rock,
It was-
LA.
Great to see everybody.
Wonderful to see everybody.
Good night.
Thank you for the opportunity.
everyone.